Hi, my name is Caitlin Couch. I'm an HR representative with Inquiry. When I first joined UVA HR, I ended up choosing the basic plan after reviewing the health plan options at a glance and the schedule of benefits because it had the lowest premium as well as the HSA that UVA puts funds into. When I first started, I knew I had something medically going on for years, but my symptoms were not severe and they were vague. And over the course of that year, I wasn't expecting my symptoms to progress like they did. And it got to the point where I couldn't ignore them anymore and I had to go and get a diagnosis. My doctor started doing blood work, which I wasn't prepared for the cost of the blood work. Luckily, I was able to use my HSA to help cover those costs. I was contributing a little bit to it at that time, and then with the funds that UVA had put in, I was able to cover the cost of the blood work. I was then sent for an MRI, and very quickly met my deductible. They then sent me to specialists, and because I met my deductible, I was then paying 20% of the bills instead of the full amount. Just before open enrollment of that year, I saw one specialist who told me that I very likely have a genetic condition, and if they were right, I would need a lot more testing done. During those initial 6 tests, I managed to meet my out-of-pocket max, which was a relief, knowing that the rest of the testing that I had coming up was covered. When I sat down to choose my plan for open enrollment, I knew I was going to have more testing over the course of that year and was very likely going to be put on medicine to help control my symptoms. And when I was looking at the plans, I knew all 3 plans covered the same thing. So I didn't have to worry whether one plan would cover one thing versus not being covered under another plan. And then with the information that the doctors were giving me, I knew I was very likely going to meet my out-of-pocket max again. Having those 2 things made my decision a lot easier. It came down to which plan would save me the most money. Looking at the plans, I knew all 3 plans covered the same thing, and they all had the same out-of-pocket max. So it really came down to which plan was the cheapest, which ended up being the basic because of the premiums.